journey started 3 years back, and one of the key triggers for this journey, I think the credit goes to NHB actually, because that was the time when we were told that there is a AFD line available about 4 years back, and that's when we got thinking, and that's how this spark got ignited from NHB. I would say that was the start of the journey. In the next phase of this journey, which is will see the real impact. So far, we have only been talking to developers. Ashok Lal sir has been talking very deeply about the subject, but it hasn't really fructified to the kind of stock availability is there. Now, I think why I call this the phase 2 is we are very happy to announce that we have collaborated with ADB, and which has further sponsors, 4 sponsors, which we have UCC RTF and the Rockefeller Foundation, UK Aid, and the Switzerland government as well, which we are having the first technical assistance joint venture with them. And under this, we are going to have 3 sections. One is propagation, under which what you are witnessing today is the first section of propagation, in which we'll have 6 Kutumbs in the state level. We'll have 2 national level Kutumbs, and one we'll have an international Kutumb, so that if we can influence certain South Asian countries on the similar subject. So that's going to be a first bucket. The second bucket is going to be on capacity building. There has been a lot of discussion on what should be the capacity building about. So there we are collaborating with CEPT, Center for Environmental Planning and Technology. So I think the most premier institute in the country, where we will be catering to the capacity building at 4 levels. One level would be at a policy level at the ministry level. Second would be at the state level. The third would be at the district level, because ultimately they are the people who are really approving the plans. And as you know, Hota sir, that you've also been discussing that why is BLC not happening, right? So why are we not funding BLC? Self-construction will continue to be more than 80% of our housing demand will be met through that. So there is hardly anything happening there. And the final 4th one would be the developers. So second is the capacity building section, which will be there. And the third is going to be research and innovation. Obviously, there's a lot of journey to be traveled in terms of research and innovation on this subject as well. In terms of price competitiveness, climatic zone appropriation of the norms or of the material use. That again, we are doing it with CEPT. Under the aegis of Mr. Raval. He's a very well-known national figure for that. So this would be something of our next level to do this. That's why I call it the phase 2. And the other thing is that nothing can be achieved at scale unless there is a financial ecosystem to support the cause. Otherwise, we can have discussions in this part of beautiful Delhi, but nothing will get implemented outside where it matters. So there would be, we are here to gather to talk about the subject and see how we can take it forward. We are in discussions with certain DFIs. We can especially have certain financial products around that as well. So we are sure the deliberations of today will become strategies of tomorrow, which eventually will become the norm in the future. So I'm sure we might be acting as flag bearers and the market makers, but eventually it will cater to something, a norm, maybe 5 years down the line. And when we look back, we can proudly say that this was the team which started this whole spark. And once again, I would like to welcome you all for the first ADB in collaboration with IIFL Home Loans Kutumb.
Now is the time for our first panel discussion, and the discussion is called Sustainable Finance in Affordable Housing.
Putting affordability and sustainability into a clash. These two must go hand in hand. Otherwise, I think we don't have we are not creating a long-term story for housing sector or housing finance in the country unless we take care of the sustainability part of it.
Kutumb literally means family, so we are trying to bring many people together, which is developers, home buyers, government agencies, MHB institutions and regulators, and trying to achieve something which is again unique. How you can make affordable houses which are still sustainable. When I say sustainable here means sustainable in terms of resources, which are still environmental friendly, and we can help them finance. We also have a 25 basis point subsidy for or a lower rate for those who are buying affordable home, trying to encourage home buyers into it. We are developing a new product where developers can get green finance or affordable finance at a lower rate. And for all these initiatives, we have got support from all the agencies that are here.
like India, TA can be really catalytic to help all the stakeholders to really achieve some specific goal. And when we are talking about sustainable and green affordable housing, and we are really in this momentum clearly.
Affordable housing is extremely critical to move towards the sustainability goals. We really didn't have any housing finance companies doing green lending. Okay, and the reason as we understood is not because they didn't want to, but it's because we didn't have enough people coming and asking for green loans, for green construction loans. We didn't have enough people asking to buy green homes.
I wish that we come together, all the stakeholders come together, go and meet the end home buyer. Can we arrange open outreach programs? What is that called? Like what we used to do in the banking system earlier. I'm not telling you go for a loan mela, but at least for increasing the awareness that a greenhouse is not pinching your pocket. This is going to pay you back in long run. This is beneficial in the long run.
Taking a stride forward to say affordable is no longer something a taboo. It's a place where you can stay respectfully, honorably, and with your self-respect right up there. So I think waves of change are there.
It is the low-rise housing that gives you more associated space to the home. And when I put all these different variables together, many of them, I'm discovering that it is low-rise housing, right, that gives me a more affordable and a more sustainable DNA. The formula built into this form of housing is going to take you where you want to go to service the bottom of the pyramid.
I have a business plan idea for what we call building as a service. So you actually, the party which is the best knowledgeable to deliver that service is the same party which is building the house. If you give them a financial incentive to also ensure that the house keeps working, the building keeps working for the next 15-20 years, then they will build it right, because they are going to be responsible and they stand to gain financially if the building performs.
So in a nutshell, this is about what is the landscape in which currently the green and affordable housing is being delivered in India. There are gaps, and it is important we understand that even when the developers are trying to build housing, there are a lot of these policy gaps and jigsaw, and it is in this direction that we also feel that the capacities also and awareness needs to be built. Thank you.
जो हमारी जनरेशन्स हैं वो हम इस बात के लिए याद रखेंगी कि हम लोगों ने अगर इस समय जितना ग्रीन, जिस तरह से कार्बन एमिशन हो रहा है और इस चीज़ को हम लोगों ने इस तरह से एड्रेस नहीं किया, जिस तरह से आज जो मूवमेंट हम चलाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो हमारी जनरेशन्स हमें दोनों साइड याद रख सकती हैं कि हम इसको अगर हम इस ग्रीन को इस तरह से ला पाए तो आई थिंक सो उसमें हम पॉजिटिव एफर्ट्स पे काम कर पाएंगे. मेरे पास कोई प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है, लेकिन मैं अपना थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि हम लोग ग्रीन बिल्डिंग में सिंस स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द कंपनी वी आर वर्किंग ऑन दिस ग्रीन बिल्डिंग. क्योंकि ग्रीन बिल्डिंग आज डिस्कशन हो रहा था, मॉर्निंग से डिस्कशन हो रहा था भी डेवलपर्स ग्रीन बिल्डिंग क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं और क्यों करें, वाई ग्रीन बिल्डिंग. मिस्टर ओता ने बहुत अच्छी बात की कि जब हम एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन सोचते हैं, एक एज ए डेवलपर से आगे बढ़ के हम एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन सोचें कि हमें जो हमारी जनरेशन्स आने वाली हैं, और इवन हम कोविड के अंदर हेल्थ को बहुत बड़ा मान चुके हैं कि यस हेल्थ हमारी सबसे ऊपर चीज़ है और हेल्थ है भी ऊपर, सबसे ऊपर. अगर हमें हेल्थ के लिए हम लोग इतना सेंसिटिव हैं तो हमें ग्रीन लिविंग इस चीज़ पे अपने को जाना पड़ेगा. अब है प्रैक्टिकल सेंस में हो क्या रहा है. हम लोग प्रेजेंटली जब से स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के लेवल पे आईजीबीसी और जो ग्रीन बिल्डिंग की अथॉरिटीज़ हैं वो अपना रिप्रेजेंटेशन देते हैं और उस चीज़ को जो बिल्डिंग कोड्स की अथॉरिटीज़ हैं उसके अंदर उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट करती हैं. बहुत बढ़िया किया, हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट ने इस चीज़ को अंडरस्टैंड किया. उसने एचबीसी हरियाणा बिल्डिंग कोड जो लेके आए उसके अंदर 5% एक्स्ट्रा एफएआर डेवलपर्स को उसके अंदर दिया कि ताकि आप ग्रीन बिल्डिंग की नॉर्म्स को अगर पूरा करते हैं, आप गोल्ड रेटिंग लेके आते हैं तो आपको इस चीज़ का बेनिफिट मिलने वाला है. आई एम हैप्पी टू टॉक कि जिस समय पहला हरियाणा बिल्डिंग कोड में जब ये अमेंडमेंट आया, वी वर द फर्स्ट डेवलपर in Haryana who have proposed this, and हम लोगों ने पहला बिल्डिंग प्लान हमने ग्रीन बिल्डिंग में अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग ग्रीन बिल्डिंग में पास कराने वाले सिग्नेचर ग्लोबल एज ए कंपनी, वी वर द फर्स्ट वन हु हैव पास्ड.
We are now 7,900 and going to be 12,000 towns and cities by probably this census. From how do you scale up? How do you see these messages coming from here going to a various small and tier 3 and tier 4 towns?
ये पूछ रहे हैं कि स्केल अप के माने ये कह रहे हैं आप कब ये शुरू करोगे, इनका यही कहना है. Isn't it? तो कब शुरू करोगे? आपने कह दिया अब शुरू करो.
Yes,
ये तो तय हो गया.
we have started.
अब रह गई बात कैसे शुरू करेंगे. कैसे शुरू करेंगे, मैंने आपको कुछ थोड़े बहुत एग्जांपल बताए और आपने चंद मिनट में समझ लिया होगा कि कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चीज नहीं है. सिर्फ इसमें एक थोड़ा सा प्रोसेस इन्वॉल्व है. डिजाइन के स्टेज से सोच के निकलना पड़ेगा, उसमें आपकी किफायत भी होगी और आप ग्रीन चीज भी प्रोड्यूस कर सकेंगे. और अगर उसको आप सिस्टमैटिकली करेंगे तो सेजल जी हैं यहाँ पे और हमारे बड़े सारे ये IIFL की हैंड होल्डिंग टीम यहाँ बैठी हुई है, ये आपको सर्टिफिकेट लेके दे देंगे. फिर आपका फाइनेंस भी फायदेमंद होगा और जो बेनिफिशियरी है एंड यूजर वो भी आपकी तरफ आकर्षित होगा. क्योंकि मैं अब ये जानता हूं, मैं किसी भी छोटे मोटे स्कूल में जाता हूं, आई एम वेरी क्लियर. 9-10 साल का बच्चा, उसके कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ ग्रीन आर वेरी क्लियर एक्चुअली, एंड ही इज आस्किंग हिज और हर पेरेंट्स भाई आप हमारे लिए क्या करने वाले. और वो जब वो 18 साल का होगा, जो 15 साल का बच्चा जब 25 साल का होगा, they are going to demand sustainable housing environments from you. They are going to demand it. That is just five years ago, 5 years hence. It's going to happen. So we have no choice but to move in the right direction. And that is the trigger for scaling up.
And how do you see that these messages we take forward to a mode of adult learning, from pedagogy to andragogy to the adult builders and developers? How you can extend your support to?
Thank you. I think Shashwat, we've been involved in accept in the capacity building, and I think this is a step in the right direction. The technical assistance that we are under which we are delivering this capacity building program for all the stakeholders in the entire value chain, from the policy makers to the people who are building, to the people who are managing, to the people who are doing post occupancy sort of management as well. तो उन सब के लिए हमें करना है. तो आई थिंक ये दिस इज अ स्टेप इन द राइट डायरेक्शन, एंड द आइडिया इज टू ऑल्सो टेक इट टू ऑल द पार्ट्स एंड नॉट जस्ट keep it centric to the cities or the metropolitan cities, but to take it to also the smaller towns and get the stakeholders on board on this capacity.